Lying is a natural part of life. If you had time to master the art of lying, then you will pass with green lights. To catch a liar, you have to become one. Simply put, lying is a survival mechanism. It boils down to the simplistic notion of the ego's reassurance of survival. It's one of the many ways how ego tries to buy its own ticket for furthering its own genes into the future. It helps you to cover your own mistakes and ensures that you gain more power when necessary. Let's delve into this topic and expand on the ways that we lie.
Sorry, my phone died. It's nothing. I'm fine. These allegations are completely unfounded. The company was not aware of any wrongdoing. I love you. We hear anywhere from 10 to 200 lies a day, and we spent much of our history coming up with ways to detect them. From medieval torture devices to polygraphs, blood pressure and breathing monitors, voice stress analyzers, eye trackers, infrared brain scanners, and even the 400-pound electroencephalogram. But although such tools have worked under certain circumstances, most can be fooled with enough preparation.
Successfully constructed lie is something that you believe in yourself, so that your emotional reaction doesn't jeopardize your agenda. When somebody looks into your eyes, deep down, they can read whether you are lying or not. If you are new to this, but if you are quite proficient, if you had time to master the art of lying, then you will pass with green lights. Lying is a natural part of life. Even since the childhood, we lie to our parents about the broken vase or your lunch money getting stolen from you, so that you can get more of those green papers and buy some delicious candy for yourself. We lie because we think it will put us ahead of the competition, and sometimes it does, sometimes it backfires. And of course there are differences between lying and lying, but at the end of the day, all lies stem from one same point: yourself. You have to trick yourself so that you're praised by your story.
And none are considered reliable enough to even be admissible in court. But what if the problem is not with the techniques, but the underlying assumption that lying spurs physiological changes? What if we took a more direct approach, using communication science to analyze the lies themselves? On a psychological level, we lie partly to paint a better picture of ourselves, connecting our fantasies to the person we wish we were, rather than the person we are. But while our brain is busy dreaming, it's letting plenty of signals slip by. Our conscious mind only controls about 5% of our cognitive function, including communication, while the other 95% occurs beyond our awareness.
The limbic brain is the part of the brain that we cannot control, which demonstrates to the external world what we are feeling, what we are thinking about. And if you are very good with body language, you can almost read people as if they were screens with text going through them. I have done several videos on body language. You can check them out in order to get more information on how to read people's bodies. The issue for the liar arises because the lack of awareness. When you try to spin different types of lies, building up different stories with different branches, you get confused, you get lost in them, which makes you anxious, and your body displays outwardly what it is feeling. If you're kicking with your legs, if you're tapping on your knees with your hands, if you're twitching with your eyes, or if you're scratching back of your head, all of that signals that something is wrong or something isn't 100% with you. This is why you almost have to be a minor psychopath in order to pass those tests, becoming a stone cold pathological liar. Or you train yourself to a degree where you're so aware of yourself that you camouflage all the potential twitches that may occur in your body. The concept of time is what makes you anxious, and if you're present in the moment, then the lies that you tell will be believable to anyone surrounding you. You lie yourself about your status, about your current situation, where you're at and where you're going. This is why people get stuck in jobs that they hate and never pursue the dreams that they may had ever since the childhood. Those people rationalize to themselves about the different decisions that they made in order to come to the place that they are. And this is a type of lie that will damage you in the long run. The lies that you spin around yourself the whole life.
And according to the literature on reality monitoring, stories based on imagined experiences are qualitatively different from those based on real experiences. This suggests that creating a false story about a personal topic takes work and results in a different pattern of language use. A technology known as linguistic text analysis has helped to identify 4 such common patterns in the subconscious language of deception. First, liars reference themselves less when making deceptive statements. They write or talk more about others, often using the third person to distance and disassociate themselves from their lie, which sounds more false.
Lacking self-awareness, not understanding that if you blame everything and everyone all the time, it will come a point where people will realize that you're a fraud and the problem lies within yourself. Those kind of lies are easily detected because they are much more reactionary than planned, and quite honestly displays a lack of intelligence. You're either dumb or lazy to construct a solid house of lies. But yet again, lying is not an art for a weak-minded person.
Absolutely no party took place at this house, or I didn't host a party here. Second, liars tend to be more negative, because on a subconscious level, they feel guilty about lying. For example, a liar might say something like, "Sorry, my stupid phone battery died. I hate that thing." Third, liars typically explain events in simple terms, since our brains struggle to build a complex lie. Judgment and evaluation are complex things for our brains to compute. As a US president once famously insisted, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman." And finally, even though liars keep descriptions simple, they tend to use longer and more convoluted sentence structure, inserting unnecessary words and irrelevant but factual-sounding details in order to pad the lie. Another president confronted with a scandal proclaimed, "I can say categorically that this investigation indicates that no one on the White House staff, no one in this administration presently employed was involved in this very bizarre incident."
Enter politicians. A lot of convoluted sentences, dancing around the topic and never answering your questions. Because they lie, they have to, their career depends upon that. How many politicians didn't start up as maximalist, real social justice warriors, but as their career progressed and they became deeper rooted into that system, they lost all kinds of integrity and sold their souls to the devil. Also, as you saw in these examples, they are very easy to detect, like blaming on your stupid phone because it died. Who has the responsibility over your phone? Yourself, nobody else. Even if that was true, it's not a valid argument. Either way, it will demonstrate your incompetence. This video is not about sitting on your moral high ground and pretending that you are Mother Teresa. This video is just simply demonstrating the nature of people and pinpoint that we all lie. From the simplest things that we don't even think about subconsciously to the more grandiose schematic plans on how to lie your way through a career or into somebody's heart. And the worst lie of them all is, I'll get back to that.
Let's look at another example from former Senator and US presidential candidate John Edwards. "I only know that the apparent father has said publicly that he is the father of the baby. I also have not been engaged in any activity of any description that requested, agreed to, or supported payments of any kind to the woman or to the apparent father of the baby." Not only is that a pretty long-winded way to say, "the baby isn't mine," but Edwards never calls the other parties by name, instead saying, "that baby, the woman, and the apparent father." Remember that many of the lies we encounter on a daily basis are far less serious than these examples, and may even be harmless. But it's still worthwhile to be aware of telltale clues like minimal self-references, negative language, simple explanations, and convoluted phrasing.
So the biggest lies of them all is lying to yourself. It's the core to all of your problems. You create a persona who isn't in alignment with your body, your physical self, almost living two separate characters, making both your personal and career lives a misery. Lastly, to avoid becoming a prey to lies of others, you have to start to become truthful with yourself. When you recognize the lies that you tell to yourself, you will slowly but surely become aware to the different mechanisms that ego creates in order to deceive others. And the moment others try to manipulate you into something that you know is not true, that you know is not honest, your alarm will go off in a blink of an eye. Ultimately, it's much easier to live a life without any lies, creating a more stress-free life and sweet good night sleeps. Because you know, serenity now. More videos on similar topics. Tell me one of your biggest lies that help you to further you in life. But for now, Hossein, out.